Welcome back. We've had quite the role reversals this week.
100% role reversal. The last few weeks, Manchester City, oh my God, let's talk about it.
Terrible!
We are talking 4 losses on the bounce.
First time that's happened for Pep under City.
First time in his managerial career.
He did that shit at Bayern. He did it at Bayern.
Whatever.
But,
it's the first time, at least in Man City's Pep Guardiola era. It's very disappointing.
I love it. First time ever that I've actually gotten to gloat and say, hey, over this period of time,
right,
and not just 1 week. It's like, 1 week in the 38 games, City's gonna lose one and United will win one, whatever. But in a consistent period of time, like you say, okay, since Ten Hag left, who has had the better 4 weeks? It's been United. Or 4 games. Pardon.
4 games.
Only 2.5 weeks.
Absolutely abysmal. It's a fact. It's especially good because United got a new manager.
Yeah.
Somebody rated by City.
They could have went to City if Pep decided to leave at the end of this year, and he would have stayed.
There's a lot to unpack from the 4 losses. The Champions League against Sporting, Tottenham.
I know you see that one.
Brighton. I mean, we got an 18-year-old playing center back now. We have injuries. I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for the injuries. We do have some important people out. Ruben Diaz, we had obviously Rodri, Kevin De Bruyne still coming back from injury.
Very good players.
A lot of good players coming back from injury, still injured, things like that.
Difference.
It is what it is. We still should be beating teams like Brighton, like Sporting. I felt like we didn't show enough in those games. 100%. It shows in the score lines. It shows Pep Guardiola's press conferences. He's pointed out. He's saying it. We just haven't been good enough, and there's a consistent just lack of effort. It seems like we're tired. It seems like there's just the engine is missing, and I'd say it's Rodri, but at the same time you can't go down to one player. We're also missing the center backs. I think that's huge. It's just a lot.
If you look at it game by game, there was obviously a couple of reasons, not only player-wise that they're missing in injuries, but also tactically some really difficult matchups. Like Brighton, they're not going to win the Prem, but they are a very, very high-quality team. Yeah. They're a well-organized and well-drilled team. Sporting, I'm going to have to,
say the same thing,
kind of Amarin, but he is an up-and-coming manager that really makes a difference for that Sporting team. Like, they are all very good players, but the way that they play as a team is even more impressive because you see multiple people having good games. Yes, in the Champions League, it was Gyökeres with the hat trick. Fantastic by him, but that's a team effort. Right out of halftime, you saw them take the ball, and they score on City like that. And that's not something you usually see from City in terms of intensity drop. They generally come out in the second half very positive.
There's a lot of little things that really turn the tide against you, especially in big games. Erling Haaland missing a penalty could have drawn the game up. Could have been a completely different game against Sporting if we would have tied it up. Erling Haaland misses his penalty, though. Little things. We have Kovacic in. Kovacic, for a while there, we're saying, man, look at him. He's doing quite a job in his position, filling in as good as he can. Over a period of time, we're seeing it's not going to work. Rico Lewis, this guy, he's not playing up to it. He's getting exposed. He's young, so I can give him a little leeway.
Of course, you always give the academy players grace.
Somebody I'm not going to give any fucking leeway. Oh my God. Kyle Walker. This fucking guy.
Let both of his families know.
Man, Kyle, you need to get your shit together. His legs are done. Absolutely done. His decision making, done. Okay, I really, really thought that he would be a player who would have progressed his career maybe into a center back, right, like of a back three, if you will. Kind of inverted center back, right back kind of role. Losing some pace, but still having the decision making. It seems as if he still has a little pace, but the decision making is just
gone.
It's gone. His mental defensive awareness, it seems like he's just not confident or something. I don't know what it is. He's all over the place. And on top of all that, I would say our new signing, Ilkay Gundogan. He's just a little bit older now. You're looking at Savinho. He's doing okay. He's doing what he can, but coming into a new system, when the best players on your team aren't playing well and you don't have certain ones in there, it really does affect the new players and how their transition into the team is. And I think it's really shown for them as well. And Erling Haaland has got to do better. He's got to start scoring. He still has some goals here and there, just not in the important moments. Overall, though, the team, these last 4 games, it just shows we have to play better. We need somebody in January.
Yeah.
We need January signings. United's making managerial signings. City need to make some fucking player signings. Zubimendi, come on, bruh.
Come save their season, honestly.
For real.
Because they need, like, we've seen so many times where City Football Group do exactly what they need to do for not only the season, but also for the long term.
Yes.
Like, they don't generally make snap signings that don't work out.
No.
So my thought is that they will have something prepared because, taking Gundogan in the summer is a short-term thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure they had somebody that they were aiming for this summer to potentially bring in, in 8 months or however many. But they may have to speed that up. And thankfully, somebody that did speed their transition up was United. Finally got Amarin in, landed in Manchester today, took some wonderful pictures, very handsome man. He actually has hair, that's a plus for me.
Wow.
But nonetheless, we got our guy, and he's now here, and we have the international break. So for him to come in this, 2-week or week and a half period is really nice because he's going to get to talk with a lot of the players, some of the senior players that are generally out on international duty. Yeah, they're not going to be there. But some other players that maybe are on the fringes of their team, like Rashford, somebody that I think is going to do wonderful into this system, who has had an okay season. Like, he's not been great, but he hasn't been as bad as some of the other players in our team. And especially at the weekend, we got to win. We needed to win 3-0 against Leicester City. It was fantastic.
They should have just kept Van Nistelrooy.
I mean, Van Nistelrooy, 3 wins, 1 draw. I honestly could not have asked for more. Because if I were to say, oh yeah, we should get 4 wins out of this, that would have been very, very, very
selfish.
Very
United
dumb.
Fan. Very
also.
United fan-esque.
It would, yes. But at the same time, you can't go from winning 4 in 14 to thinking, oh, we're going to just win 4 in 4 now that we've got this new manager. But we win 3 and we draw 1. I love to see it, and I think that it's just up from here, honestly. Like, Amarin comes in, I think he's going to tweak some of the lineup. I don't think we're going to see that 3-4-3 for a couple weeks, probably not until, honestly, the new year when they start to really roll that out. Or I could be completely wrong and then just boom, first game against Ipswich, 3-4-3, and we'll see how it rolls.
You never know. It's the, like you said, him coming in and this period I think is a really good plus for United because you can kind of get out of the way all the small talk and the hi, how you doing, and the hello to the not only the players that were still there, not on international duty, but the staff, the people, at the club, everybody.
Kath, the receptionist.
Exactly. All those people within United, you have to go in there, and in the middle of the season, you can't really do that when your next game is in 3 days or 2 days, and then you have to jump right into it. So coming in an international break, kind of getting that out of the way, saying hello, getting with the players, the staff who are still there is going to be so huge for him because I think, like you said, he might just be able to maybe not fully go for the 3-4-3, but maybe we could see some sort of makeshift
maybe
lineup.
In possession,
yes,
3 at the back.
It would be much different in possession versus out of possession for United. There would be maybe 4-2-3-1 on paper as we've seen. But in possession or out of possession, it's switched, and you can see kind of the 3-4-3. You can see a switch of some sort. I'm very interested in to see players like Bruno, where he's going to be fitting in, like, especially if they do go for that 3-4-3. It's a lot that he's going to have to work on and come into, but it's definitely the perfect time for him to come in on this international break. Yeah. Like I said, to get in with the staff, say hello, get his tactics in now with who's there,
Yeah.
and then when people come in, he's just adding that in.
Adding them in, saying, hey, you're going to replace them, and here's what you're going to work on. And we could see, because of the international break, some players getting minutes for their national teams. We could see a slightly rotated team versus Ipswich, which honestly wouldn't disappoint me too much, because some of the players that you think about that'll be gone, and then we have to bring them back, and they got to get up to speed with these new tactics. I would almost rather just stick with some of the youngsters or some of the players that weren't taken on international duty to really hone in on those quick tactic changes that you can make, that you don't have to rely on teaching someone else 3 days, like Tanner said, before the game. Because we really have everything to play for. I mean, honestly, not the league. That's done. No big deal. I mean, yes, big deal. But at the same time, that wasn't the goal coming into the season, honestly. You finish 8th, you're not going to finish 1st unless you're Leicester City in 2015. But that's not going to happen again. We really have a shot now to get top 4, to win the Europa League, to win the FA Cup, to win the Carabao Cup. We have 4 competitions that we can actually try and win. Obviously, we're not going to win all 4. We may not even win 1. But for Amarin to come in and have this whole rest of the season, we're only 4 points behind Arsenal in 4th.
That's tough. There's the thing, though.
It's doable,
there's
though.
So much
27
context.
weeks.
Moving on from United a little bit more just to the Prem itself, you see Ipswich United's upcoming game beating Tottenham. That's huge. So I think, but Ipswich, though, when United go play them, they should smack them. So I think what you say about having young players, maybe not young players, but the players who didn't go on international duty, especially Rashford, somebody like that, getting in the team. He was probably going to be in the team anyway.
And people coming back from injury, too. Lenny Euro, we're looking at you. Come save us. For real, dog. We need you on that right side of the back 3.
They need a few players to come back. They need Kobe Mainoo to come back.
Gotta
Players
save
like
the
that.
king.
So United, that Ipswich game is going to be really big, especially because it's going to be an easier game for them.
On paper, yeah, for sure.
United, to get top 4, is going to be tough because, like I said, the rest of the Prem, I still think Arsenal are going to get better. I still think Chelsea could honestly get better as the season goes on if you're going off progression and things like that.
Arsenal, Liverpool, and City are pretty much knocked on top 3. So we got Villa, Chelsea, Tottenham, 3 legitimate contenders.
It's a lot.
Every year.
It's going to be a struggle for United to get top 4. It's going to be a struggle for a lot of teams to get top 4 this year. I think just the 3 big ones is just Arsenal, Liverpool, and City. I think those are kind of tacked on for sure in top 4 somewhere in there.
Because there's a gap between those 3 and the next.
And those teams aren't performing to the highest peak. But nonetheless, City 4 losses in a row. United fucking 3 wins and a draw under Ruud Van Gaal. He's gone now.
Van Nistelrooy's gone. That is another thing. He's gone, but we'll figure it out. We got an international break coming up.
Yep.
The USA Day plays 2 games. We'll let you know both games. Come back for both. We'll see you then.